Hello, everyone. My name is Anna Mardal, and this is my second uh, video of Beyond Two Souls. I said this in the first video. This video is not a Let's Play. If you're on my channel as one of my usual Let's Play viewers, you may not want to watch this. This is a two-part video for me to talk about sexual assault in video games and how survivors of sexual assault are portrayed. In the first video of this two-part series, I introduced you to Jodie, who is the heroine of Beyond Two Souls, and explained how she lives her life with a spiritual entity that follows her around and is tethered to her. This entity's name is Aiden. In the first video that I recorded, we got to see Jodie as a teenager. She went to a bar expecting to meet some friends, and in our playthrough was sexually assaulted in that bar. One of the things I talked about in that previous episode was that I had problems with the way that the sexual assault was unnecessary to the story. It was avoidable if you played right, which meant that if you were sexually assaulted in the storyline, it meant you played wrong, you did something wrong, which has kind of complicated impacts for real life sexual assault, because sexual assault survivors have not done something wrong. And then also I wanted to talk about the fact that scene, if you are sexually assaulted in that segment of the game, the player is punished for that throughout the rest of the game. There are trophies that you can't get. There are ending options that are walled off. There's dialogue scenes that you don't get anymore. Now, I know a lot of people are going to feel like, well, that's just a gameplay decision, that if you as the gamer did something wrong to fail that scene, then there should be some kind of impact. Well, I mean, this is a game where in like the next scene after that, you're sent on a secret mission to a research facility, and your job is to shut down basically a weapon of mass destruction before it can go nova and kill everybody in the world. And you can fail that mission and nothing bad happens. It doesn't affect the story for the rest of the game. They just sort of swoop in and nuke the place for you, so you don't have to. And it's completely, I mean, I screwed up the first time I played because I'm not a very great gamer in terms of QuickTime events. And I was literally swamped by zombies who were determined to kill me, and there was no bad impact for my game. I somehow shook them off in an event that I was not shown as the player, and limped out, and they just nuked the building for me. So, you know, it sends a message if you fail, quote unquote, a sexual assault sequence, then your character misses scenes and dialogue options and multiple scenes thereafter to punish you, the gamer. But if you fail to shut down a weapon of mass destruction that's going to destroy the world, it has absolutely no impact on your game at all. It's like, nah, it's fine, we got it. So I want people to keep that in mind as we play through some of the aftermath of that. So if you watched the first video, you saw Jodie as a teenager. What I haven't shown you, because I didn't want to do Let's Play, I didn't want to do videos for all of them, was the CIA showed up, and they had been the one funding Jodie's basically being kept as a test subject. And they said, hey, she seems really interesting, we're recruiting her, yoink. So Jodie went and joined the CIA. Not really, it was kind of against her will. We've gone through some CIA sequences. We did a minor CIA mission with Aiden, the ghost spirit, helping us. And now we're kind of gonna continue on from that and see a day in the life of Jody as an adult. So she's not a teenager anymore. She's theoretically an adult person with her own money and place to live because she's working for the CIA. This is her apartment.
Yeah?
Jody. Hey, it's Ryan.
Ryan.
I was just wondering if you got my email.
What email?
The one I sent 3 days ago.
You know, I've actually been having problems with my computer. What was the email about?
Dinner, tonight, fancy restaurant. Anyway, it's too late now, so maybe another time?
Shit, I'm so sorry. You know, why don't you just come over here for dinner tonight? I mean, you wanted to see my apartment anyway, so...
Sure, but
How about around 8?
Okay. Yeah, I'll bring a kick-ass bottle of wine. See you later.
Now I get why you blasted my computer. You didn't want me to see Ryan. It's not your call, Aiden. I can do what I want. Fuck this. Fuck this! We're not gonna start this again. I'm not yours, Aiden. I can have a relationship with whoever I want. This is my life. Oh, do you fucking hear me? This is my life. You know what? I happen to think Ryan is great. Right? He's charming, he's intelligent, he's funny. And I think I'm falling for him. Yeah. Yeah, I'm aware of what happened at the bar. Fuck you for reminding me. Ryan is not like that. Okay. It's 7 o'clock. I have an hour to make dinner, tidy up, and make myself look good.
Okay. So, I could probably skip through a lot of this because you don't need to see us
The trash can in the kitchen.
cleaning up the apartment. But I'm going to go ahead and play through it because that's part of the scene.
I gotta find something I can make in 1 hour with what's ever left in the fridge. Asian beef, huh? I mean, that looks good. It's not too complicated. Curried chicken with oven-baked vegetables. It'll take some time in the oven, but seems doable. Pizza delivery. I mean, it's not exactly gourmet, but no preparation, no mess. I mean, it could be an option. Yeah. Asian beef. I mean, it looks suitably exotic. As long as I don't manage to fuck it up. Thanks, Aiden. So far, so good.
That's not what we want. Don't stand on these stools at home.
Ginger. It's supposed to be an aphrodisiac. I mean, it's not in the recipe, but... Can't hurt. I mean, I need all the help I can get. All right, add the sake for flavor. I think I'm beginning to like cooking. Ryan, you are gonna love this.
Okay. The controller's not doing what I want it to. There we go. Got that. So I could cut some of this, and I'm not going to, because I feel like it's important to the point that I want to make, which is that...
Oh, crap. Crap, he's early. I'm coming!
There's no one out there. We're not going out there, because that was one of
You know,
Aiden's
you're
tricks.
wasting your time, Aiden. You're not gonna stop me from seeing Ryan.
She clearly wants to see Ryan. This is important to her. She would like to even potentially
Books. Okay, on the bookshelf. Okay, great.
start a sexual relationship with Ryan, because you heard her with adding ginger, saying that it was an aphrodisiac and she needs all the help she can get. All of this is very important to her, to have a romantic evening with this guy that she's interested in. No, why are we sitting here? That's not what I want. I was trying to clean up the remote controls. There we go. Close.
Our dirty clothes in the basket in the bathroom. All right, there.
We're gonna take a quick shower. Which, honestly, I wish that not so much time had been spent on. We get to pick our clothes, so we're going to pick something romantic for the date. Well, actually, we haven't done that yet. Oh, we have a message from Aiden saying you have me. You don't need him.
Christ, Aiden. Look, you just don't get it. What should I wear? Oh, hello, Ryan. Oh, do you like it? Classic, elegant, a je ne sais quoi. Classy. It's the new me, and it shows that I can adapt to any situation. You might as well just give up, Aiden. Okay? This date is going on. Period.
Okay, what else do we need to have done? I think we need to set the
Come on, Aiden, don't be a pain in the ass.
I think we need to set the table.
Oh, yeah, that's very funny, Aiden. Wow, it's very romantic.
Alright, am I missing anything? I don't think I am. Unlike the doing things in heavy rain, there was, there we go. There was plenty of time, which is good. I don't want to sit down. I thought there was a way to clean up the remotes, but I guess not. No, don't care about that. Alright, is there anything else we need to be doing in the kitchen? I don't think so. Got the dishes. We can't put the stool back. We can't clean up any further here. We've set everything there. I don't think that there's anything we need to do in the bedroom or bath. It's a very lovely bedroom. It's a very lovely apartment. Nope, nothing we need to do in there. You'd think we could pick up our clothes, but no. Alright, I think we've done everything that we need to do. Ryan should be showing up in just a few minutes. Let's look at the wall clock. Oh, wow. Okay, so we have some time. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and spoil this a little bit. Because of what happened at the bar scene, and we sort of saw a little bit of that in her dialogue earlier, Jodie's not going to be able to pursue a romantic relationship with Ryan, despite very clearly wanting it. There's been no ambivalence in her dialogue, and in fact, all the dialogue tonight, minus the thank you so much for reminding me what happened at the bar, all the dialogue tonight is what you would get if the bar scene hadn't occurred. So in both cases, with or without the bar scene happening, she very enthusiastically wants to pursue a relationship with this guy that she knows from the CIA named Ryan. But because of what happened at the bar scene, that's going to be walled off to us and to her.
I didn't behave yourself. This is important to me, and I'm counting
on you. Chateau Margaux, 2001. The guy in the store said it was a pretty good year.
That sounds good to me. So. Why don't you sit? I'll get the thing that opens the wine.
Cool apartment.
Huh? Yeah, thanks. Biden. For fuck's sakes.
Okay, we can't walk. There we go.
You want me to open it?
No, I'll do it.
To your new apartment.
To my new apartment.
Wow, so when did you move in?
A couple weeks ago, the agency found it for me and all furnished and everything, which is it's actually the first place I've ever had just by myself. So it's weird getting used to the idea of it. And how about you? Where do you live?
Oh, I have a place just outside of town. Yeah, it's small, but you know, it's got a little garden and it's pretty quiet.
And did you grow up here? Or?
No, I was born in Oregon. My parents and
And
brothers
so-
still live there.
Please
But
excuse
I
my
moved out
fishing.
when I was 16.
We're in Iden Vision right now,
16. Oh,
and we could choose to disrupt the date,
did you get kicked out or something?
but we're not going to.
Well, things were pretty chaotic at home. My stepfather liked to beat me when he had too much to drink, and I just decided to get out before one of us went too far.
How did you end up joining the CIA?
I went through college, not really knowing what I wanted to do. Tried the Army. You know, the action, travel, adventure, long enough to realize that wasn't for me. And when a CIA agent recruiter approached me, I jumped at it.
I should probably, I'm gonna go check on the dinner because this cooking thing It's a whole new adventure for me.
You need help?
No, but why don't you go sit and more wine would be nice.
Okay. Asian beef, right?
Yeah.
No, I was sent to China for a year. I love Asian food.
Well, do not get your hopes up because this is probably the second time that I've cooked, and I would rather not talk about the first time.
Good.
Good. I'm glad you like it.
There's a whole lot of problems with this
So we've been
game.
working together now for what?
And honestly,
2
with
years?
this game,
I know almost nothing about you.
it's issues with
There's nothing much to say.
racial
I
sensitivity
grew up with
are not
my
great.
parents on the
So
DPA campus, and then
I'm gonna stay in my
then
lane
Nathan
here and
looked after
not
me.
dwell on that too much. But yes, Asian beef
he pretty
from
much
China.
was, so.
Yeah, your parents, do you still see them?
Nothing
No.
more specific than that.
No, I don't. I think they were just terrified about how different I was. So, Nathan and Cole, they brought me up more or less. They taught me how to cope with Aiden, how to accept myself as I am. I mean, it wasn't always easy, but I'm making progress.
Yeah, did Nathan ever manage to explain to you why you have this link with Aiden?
No. I mean, not really. I mean, they learned a lot of stuff about the info world. Really not much about Aiden. I mean, I don't think even he knows who or what he is.
It's like, is he here now, listening to us?
Yeah. Yeah, he never leaves me. What about you? Do you have any family here?
No, my parents are still in Oregon. Go to see them as little as possible.
And are you married or anything?
No. Yes, I mean, I was. You know, my ex-wife and I have been separated for 2 years. And, yeah, it couldn't work. I mean, in the end, it didn't. You know, we had our good times, but eventually we decided to go our separate ways. How about you? Anyone on your radar?
I've got Aiden, so.
I mean, anyone in our world.
You know what? Aiden kind of has always made people run away. Or maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just too odd for anyone to be interested in.
You're special, Jody. Aiden's got nothing to do with this.
Stop. Stop.
Jody, what's the matter?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's not your fault. There's some things that I can't forget.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
go.
Okay. Let's talk about that. So, I've played through that scene before without having gone through the sexual assault scene in the bar. And the two scenes are almost identical, except two things. If the bar scene has happened, then the first difference is at the very beginning, she has that extra piece of dialogue with Aiden. And the second difference is that at the end, she doesn't stop Ryan. Otherwise, it's exactly the same. You clean up the apartment, you're excited, you cook your Asian beef of onions and beef and salt and pepper, and she's excited, she kisses him, and the only difference is she can't sleep with him there at the end, and he leaves. So I'm going to talk about that. First of all, from a gameplay perspective, you are punished here. You don't get you don't fall in love with you don't fall in love with Ryan, for which there is a trophy. You don't end the game with the option to spend the rest of your life with him, which is one of the ending options. And there's multiple dialogue scenes that are available with Ryan as you go through that are romantic based, that no longer are open to the player because you haven't had a romance with Ryan. So all of that gets locked off if you accidentally got assaulted in the bar. In fact, there's the whole reason that this was made aware to me was sorry, I'm so upset I can't speak. The whole reason I was made aware of this was there was a whole bunch of trophy guides that I was looking at because I'm a trophy completionist, and all the trophy guides were saying if you want this trophy and that trophy and the other trophy, you can't get assaulted in the bar, so make sure you don't do that. And I'm like, what? Why would that? Why would that block off a lot of trophies? And again, I just want to repeat that there's so many chapters in this game where whether you screw up or not, it has no bearing on the end of the game. But the bar does. The bar with the sexual assault has a huge bearing on how the game plays out from there. So it's something that affects her very deeply for the rest of the game. Well, okay, first of all, that's not really... And I want to tread carefully here. There is not one survivor experience. There are some people who are deeply affected for the rest of their lives by sexual assault. There are some people who don't feel as deeply affected by it. It's a part of their past. It doesn't go away, but it's not something that they feel had a defining impact on them. There's no one right or wrong way to react. So, okay, well, having said that, then Jodi's just one of those people that it affects really strongly. Okay, so let's talk about how they could have done this better. I do not have a problem with Jodi being triggered in that scene and needing to stop. In fact, while I don't necessarily trust many game designers to explore rape in a sensitive way, I will say that in itself, her being triggered, could be a sensitive portrayal of sexual assault. Understanding that for some people, not everybody, but for some people, that would make this sexual experience potentially fraught. someone could get triggered. I'm saying potentially. I'm saying could, because some people wouldn't, and it's important to understand that triggers can be very specific things. And so that scene with Ryan doesn't necessarily have a lot in common with a scene in a bar. An assault in a bar like that could result in triggers like the smell of cigarette smoke, or the taste of the lemonade she drank, or the sound of the pinball machines in the background, or the feel of the felt of the pool table. Triggers are very complicated stuff, and just about anything can be a trigger. So it's not necessarily man in the room with you and the specter of nudity looming is not necessarily the trigger she'd take away from that. And again, I want to stress, triggers are not something people have control over. When I say triggers she'd take away, I mean more like the trigger that would be left on her. But okay, let's set that aside and say that she is triggered by the thought of getting naked with Ryan. Okay, fine. How can we do that in a sensitive way? A sensitive portrayal in my mind would be that she said, okay, I need to stop, but instead of blocking off the trophies, instead of blocking off the ending options, instead of removing quite a lot of dialogue, there would be an option there for the player to play through and decide whether they want to stop the scene there and not have a romance with Ryan, or whether they want to talk with Ryan about what happened, whether they want to take a cool down and try again. The sex lives of survivors is not a matter of, whoop, I was triggered, I guess this isn't happening now. There's a lot of things that can be done about talking and cooling down. Jodie could go decide she was going to go see a psychiatrist for this. I'm sure the CIA probably has wonderful assault psychiatrist on staff for their star psychic recruit. There could be ways for the player to decide, okay, no, the romance is still going to happen, but it's going to happen on these modified terms. Now, I know that there's kind of a cop-out here of, oh, well, maybe Jodie would want to do that, but Ryan, darted off anyway. Well, okay, first of all, Ryan's a fictional character. He does what the game makers have him do. So yes, he did dart off, but they could just as easily have had him model supportive behavior in the face of someone being triggered. And honestly, even more than just a regular normal boyfriend, if he's been in the army, if he's been in the CIA, I am pretty sure, okay, he probably has had some contact with people who have been traumatized before. It would be perfectly realistic for him to be able to leverage that experience with traumatized people to be gentle and affectionate and caring towards this girl he clearly cares about, rather than just, oh, sex isn't happening and she's crying, I'll leave. How is that? No. Now, okay, maybe that's a symbol of Ryan's character. I don't really want to get too deep into that because, spoilers ahoy and everything. Either Ryan cares very deeply about Jodie, or he has some kind of ulterior motive to be here and become close to her because she's an important asset to the CIA. Either way, it would be very easy to model him as somebody who would say, oh crap, trauma, let me help. I'm going to get you a glass of water. Can I rub your back? Do you want a hug? Do you want to talk about it? Would you like me to just sit here? Would you like to go watch some TV for a while and get away from this scary bedroom and kind of have a chance to decompress? Those were all very simple things. And heck, you could even just fade to black there and say, okay, the romance still happened. Because the next scene, you cut ahead quite some time. So you could say, okay, the romance still happened, but it happened in a slower, more gradual, more understanding way, and that way you have a path where the sexual assault that happened in the bar still affects her, but it doesn't affect her in a way where she can't even have a relationship. Because, and that's something I really want to underscore here, and I talked about it in the previous video about how a gameplay mechanic, like, for example, making rape what happens if you play wrong, has a real world impact of making it seem like it's your fault if you're sexually assaulted. Well, similarly in this one, a gameplay mechanic of, oh, you failed, you don't get the romance, has a real life impact of suggesting that survivors of sexual assault are unlovable, that we can't have relationships, that we're too damaged to ever have consensual sex. There's that you can do everything right. You can you can clean the apartment, and you can shower, and you can dress in the elegant dress, and you can cook Asian beef, and you can set the table, and you can do everything right, and you can want it as much as you can possibly want something, to the point where you're throwing random spices into your food in the hopes that it'll be magic boner spice. And even with all that, no romance for you, because you're too broken to do that. And once you break down, they'll leave, and that's the end of that. And that is a really cruel message to send to sexual assault survivors in the audience, particularly young ones around Jodi's age that maybe don't have a relationship yet at that point. I was hurt playing this, and I'm in a stable marriage. I cannot even imagine how much this would have hurt playing this when I was a teenager and wondering if I was damaged for life. So, if you are a game designer and you want to put sexual assault in your game, well, first of all, I exhort you to speak to actual sexual assault survivors, because I feel like having one on staff for this would have made a world of difference. But one of the ways that this could have been done much more sensitively, in my opinion, would have been that when she broke down and had to stop, that the scene didn't just end there. That she could make choices. She could interact with Ryan. Choices to calm down, to talk about it or not talk about it, to go sit on the couch. You know, something that would allow the romance to continue without just walling it off and saying, "Oop, none for you, you were raped." I feel like the designer of this game probably thought they were being sensitive by having it still affect her. I think they probably thought that if it didn't have impact in the scene where she has sex for the first time, that would ring false or even be trivializing of what she survived. I feel like they were trying to do the right thing, but by not getting a sexual assault survivor in here to point out that making her unlovable, unromanceable, Ryan unattainable because of this thing in her past, that could hurt even more. I feel like they sort of tried to sidestep a pothole and fell off a cliff. So I recorded this video because I actually did a lot of talking about this on Twitter, and several people wanted context for the scene to understand what I was talking about. And I couldn't find a YouTube video of this scene that didn't have the Sleep with Ryan ending, that had her not being able to because of being triggered. So I said, okay, I guess I'm going to have to make my own. So I've made my own. I have added my commentary. Do with it what you will. I release it into the world. This was very painful for me to record. So I apologize for the crying. And I know not everyone's going to agree with me, and that's fine too. They don't have to. That's the beauty of the world, that everyone can have their own opinion, and none of them are necessarily wrong. But I do hope that people who move forward to create games, music, books, videos, movies, to just understand that sexual assault is serious and painful, but it doesn't necessarily damage us for life or make us incapable of relationships or anything like that, actually. So that is what I hoped to talk about in this, and hopefully it will be helpful to someone. So once again, my name is Anna Mardal. This has been some commentary on the video game Beyond Two Souls, and hopefully in my next videos, I'll be back to doing fun little cheerful visual novels. Thank you very much for listening, and I really appreciate it. Good night.